From the nation's capital, Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce. A weekly discussion about the federal issues most important to Nevada. And now, from Washington, D.C., here's Marilee Joyce.
Well, good day to you. I'm Marilee Joyce. This is Eye on Washington, the only statewide Nevada news program produced in Washington, D.C. Every week, Eye on Washington takes you straight to Capitol Hill for a discussion with Nevada's delegation and other leaders about the federal matters that matter to you. Today's topic, can alternative medicine heal your addictions? We're going to look at whether acupuncture can help end the opioid crisis. And my special guest today is Dr. Arthur Phan of the McLean Center for Complementary and Alternative Medicine. The center is a Washington, D.C. based area clinic specializing in acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you, Marilee.
Well, last fall on Eye on Washington, we reported on opioid addiction, which is a serious crisis across Nevada, a state among those with among the very highest rates of opioid prescriptions per 100,000 people. We're covering it again today because abuse and misuse of opioids continues to grip our state and our nation, and because my guest believes that there is a way to help treat this horrible addiction that those imprisoned in it may not have considered. So today on Eye on Washington, an update on opioid addiction, a look at an interesting white paper authored by my guest proposing an alternative treatment to this frightening and growing problem, and a look at what's happening on the Hill and in the state to get a handle on the crisis. Well, in just the half year since I had the chief medical officer from the Washington, D.C. based Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration on this show, opioid deaths nationally have risen dramatically. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, opioid overdose now claims the lives of 115 people a day. That statistic comes from their revised report issued in March. When I reported on the crisis last fall, the organization's official opioid death toll stood at an already horrible 90. So this is 25 more human lives a day just since last fall. The misuse and addiction to opioids, including prescription pain relievers, heroines, and synthetic opioids such as fentanyl, is a serious national crisis. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that the total economic burden of prescription opioid misuse alone in the United States is $78.5 billion a year. That includes the cost of health care, lost productivity, addiction treatment, and criminal justice involvement. As wonderful as a presidential declaration of a state emergency is, as was issued by the president last fall, clearly more needs to be done to help those in the grips of addiction. And today, we're going to talk about one idea that is beginning to get a lot of attention nationally. And Dr. Phan, first of all, welcome to Eye on Washington. It's wonderful to have you here. And in full disclosure, Dr. Phan is my acupuncturist, so I do want to say that up front. But we have an exciting reason for having you here today. You know, the opioid crisis is huge in Nevada, and you've recently had a white paper published in an international journal about using acupuncture for pain management. Specifically to help treat those addicted to opioids and related drugs. So we are going to discuss your white paper, which was published in the nationally acclaimed Journal of Integrative Medicine, in a moment. But first of all, I want to start with this. The state of Nevada has the fourth highest drug overdose mortality rate. Recent statistics cite 20.7 overdose deaths per 100,000 residents. So obviously, as a practitioner of Chinese medicine for many years, both in D.C. and in China, you have firsthand knowledge of the success of using acupuncture to treat pain. What has been your personal experience using acupuncture pain management specifically to help those trapped in opioid addiction to manage their pain?
Yes, so the opioid issue, not something new. In many years ago, U.S. have opioid issue, and then think of overcome this epidemic before. So their strategy is use one medicine to treat another issue induced, by the opioid issue. So this kind of strategy not very successful. So this may use one.
It's not very successful
yeah.
to use opioids to treat pain.
Yeah, you treat another issue
Right.
induced. So the opioids is for treat the pain, strong pain. However, we can use non-pharmaceutical style treatment. For example, the acupuncture, treat the pain. Acupuncture have strong ability to handle the pain and also handle the addiction issue.
For people who are not familiar with the way acupuncture works, how does acupuncture, using needles, how does that work to alleviate pain which you're feeling in the body? If I come in, I'm taking opioids, if I were someone taking opioids for, say, back pain, I come to you, I want off these drugs, can acupuncture now treat the pain and
Yes.
manage that pain issue?
So there are about 8,000 clinical trial for acupuncture on pain. So most of trial said acupuncture very helpful. So the mechanism of acupuncture is use a small needle. Many people are afraid of needles. So however, acupuncture is very, very small needle, not induce some pain. Yeah, occasionally have a little bit. Yeah, but this stimulate our nerve endings. Our system send this signal to the central nervous system, and then can adjust our pain signal route. So one hypothesis.
So the small needle stimulates the nervous system, and that shuts down
and
the
then,
pain.
You send a
signal to stop
signal
the pain.
to the spine. So there is a gate hypothesis. So if the pain goes to the spine, and we have acupuncture, signal also go to the same segment. You change the pain.
And it shuts that down?
Shut down it.
I see.
So this is
Okay.
the situation.
All right, thank you. And when we return, would acupuncture save the lives of those addicted to opioids? We're going to get my guest's thoughts on that. And we're going to quote some from his white paper, which was just published in an international journal, and that's just ahead.
You're watching Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce, brought to you by Caesars Entertainment, the Regional Transportation Commission of Washoe County, the Las Vegas Sands Corporation, the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, NV Energy, Jim Marsh Automotive and Body Shop, the Rogich Communications Group, and Renown Health.
I have 3 tests next week. I'm going to be studying all weekend. Ugh. Are you studying tonight? We can meet up and study together. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. What time? I work until 6. Okay, sounds good. Just text me after. Okay. No!
There is no text, tweet, or call that's worth a life.
One pedestrian death is one too many.
Look up.
And look out for each other.
Want more federal news that affects Nevada, its businesses, and its residents? Then you need to subscribe to Nevada's Washington Watch newsletter, your sole source of online news direct from Washington, D.C. Visit joycecommunications.com and subscribe today.
Planet Hollywood, Paris, Harrah's, Caesar's Palace. It's one of the most exciting skylines in the world, Las Vegas. Caesars Entertainment has nearly 50 casinos worldwide, including these. But no matter which casino you visit, we want you to play responsibly. And if you need help setting or keeping a limit, we hope you'll call this number. You see, we know you're coming to our casinos to have a good time, and we always want you to leave feeling like you did.
I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
And welcome back to Eye on Washington, our discussion of the ongoing opioid crisis in Nevada and nationally, and our look at alternative treatment options. My guest today is Dr. Arthur Phan of the Washington, D.C. area McLean Center for Complementary and Alternative Medicine. Since opioid addiction comes from wanting relief from pain, it makes sense that treatment address the symptom, the pain. Well, my guest, Dr. Phan, believes that acupuncture could be the secret weapon in the battle against addiction and abuse. And last year, the Journal of Integrative Medicine published his white paper detailing that idea. We're going to look at the top points made in the white paper and then ask my guest to tell us more about his work. The journal article tells us that to cope with the crisis, various federal regulatory and oversight agencies, including the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, and the Joint Commission have started to advise or mandate that healthcare systems and providers offer non-pharmacologic treatment options for pain control. Dr. Phan writes, quote, "Acupuncture stands as the most evidence-based, immediately available choice to fulfill those calls." Now, doctor, you wrote also that, quote, "The aim of this paper is to summarize for academic scholars, healthcare professionals, administrators, policymakers, and the general public the available evidence for acupuncture as a treatment for various pain conditions, as well as opiate dependency." And then you spend the rest of the interesting piece detailing what you say the evidence is. So tell my audience, what is some of the evidence that acupuncture can treat the pain that people seek through opioids?
Yes, so acupuncture actually have many clinical trials. So about 8,000 trials until now. Most of them focus on the pain, the different pain condition. Most of this trial have a statement: acupuncture is effective, handle the specific pain, and the real acupuncture is more effective than the sham acupuncture. So in this article, we detail each of the condition: lower back pain, migraine, knee pain, and also acute pain after the operation. So most of them have equal effectiveness as the opioid medicine. At least can have a complementary, or we call it integrative way to the opiates. So this
But the goal, of course, is to get people off of this, off of the opioids.
Decrease the use of opiates.
Okay.
And also, acupuncture can treat the addictive.
You know, we're about out of time for this segment, but I also just want to mention the cost of health care is a top issue on Capitol Hill and at the dinner table. And your paper does mention evidence, acupuncture for safety and availability, of course, but also notably for its cost effectiveness. So I would think that treating opioid addiction by acupuncture would help the nation reduce the soaring medical costs as well, correct?
Yes. So actually, acupuncture is relatively cheaper.
Sure.
For example, you treat the pain, only need 8 to 10.
8 to 10 treatments?
Yes.
Yeah, versus being stuck on opioids and as much as that's going to cost. When we return, signs that someone might be struggling with an opioid addiction, and more on acupuncture as a possible lifeline for these people. That's next.
Nevada's direct link to Capitol Hill. Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce. The only statewide Nevada news show based in Washington, D.C. All the top federal matters that matter most to Nevadans. Marilee talks with our congressional delegation and other leaders about the federal news you need to know. Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce. Nevada's Eye on Capitol Hill.
When you think RTC, what comes to mind? How about jobs? RTC road projects bring thousands of jobs to Washoe County, expanding and connecting northern Nevada, growing our local economy, providing a more secure future for our residents and their families. So when you think jobs, think RTC, your RTC, the RTC of Washoe County.
We're not a miracle drug. We're not a technology. We're not doctors. Just the hope, which can often be the best cure of all. The Ronald McDonald House, a home away from home for seriously ill children and their families.
Planet Hollywood, Paris, Harrah's, Caesar's Palace. It's one of the most exciting skylines in the world, Las Vegas. Caesars Entertainment has nearly 50 casinos worldwide, including these. But no matter which casino you visit, we want you to play responsibly. And if you need help setting or keeping a limit, we hope you'll call this number. You see, we know you're coming to our casinos to have a good time, and we always want you to leave feeling like you did.
Safety. We all think about it. You think about it when he buckles in, when you check your mirrors and put away your phone. RTC thinks about safety too. In fact, we create it. Center turn lanes mean fewer blind spots. Bike lanes keep cyclists and you safe. Roundabouts reduce injury collisions, and all these crosswalks are designed to keep families like yours safe. Safety is your priority, and it's ours too. Every day, in everything we do.
And welcome back to Eye on Washington, our discussion of the opioid crisis and what's happening to combat it. My special guest today is Dr. Arthur Phan of the Washington, D.C. Area McLean Center for Complementary and Alternative Medicine. So let's look more closely now at why opioids can be addictive and what you can do to help someone you suspect might be abusing them. Again, opioids are a class of drugs that include the illegal drug heroin, synthetic opioids such as fentanyl, and pain relievers available legally by prescription. Medical officials say that any long-term use can put someone at risk of addiction. That's even if the substance is used as prescribed, and then that person develops a tolerance to them, which can trigger the cycle of addiction. So how do you know if someone you care about might be misusing? Well, according to the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health, just some of the things to watch for include sweating, shortness of breath, runny nose, headaches, tremors, racing heart, stomach cramps, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. And the addiction resource site Shatterproof adds you should also look for changes in mood and behavior, drowsiness and disorientation, slurred speech, and slower movements. And Dr. Phan, recent statistics say that 6 of 10 overdoses now involve opioid use. So with more and more people turning to opioids and then getting hooked on them, are you starting to see in your own practice here in the Washington area, are you seeing more and more patients coming to you specifically for treatment of opioid misuse and abuse?
Yes. So last week, we actually see 2 people. Actually, it's young people, college student. So the opioids induce addiction, actually involving our central nervous system change. We call it neuroplasticity change. So that's why they continue use that. If you not use that, they have a lot of problem, including autonomic nerve out of order. So they have a lot of symptom, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, and
if they stop using that?
Yeah, very weak.
Right.
And also, this medicine very easy to be overdose and then make people pass away.
So if a person comes to you addicted to opioid, let's say he began using the drug because he's got terrible back pain or etc., he comes into your office. What do you do day one? You said there's 8 to 10 treatments. What's the cycle, and when does the person start feeling better enough to get off of those drugs?
So this is acute, or we call it active condition. We actually encourage people to each day, every day, once a day. So each of the treatment about 1 hour. So this involving at just our neuroplasticity part, and also you treat the pain part. You treat the people's mood, change, anxiety and depression.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So this. So
it treats the pain and treats the psychological side too, once the pain is lifted.
Yeah, so this is a comprehensive way. So we see a patient, just 22 years old. He is very weak. After one treatment, he significantly improved, and also almost no pain.
In one treatment, significant improvement and almost no pain.
After 1 hour.
If you're in Nevada and on opioids, might be something to look into. Is that right? Wow. And just ahead, federal and state efforts to battle the opioid crisis and where to get help today. That's all ahead.
Planet Hollywood, Paris, Harrah's, Caesar's Palace. It's one of the most exciting skylines in the world, Las Vegas. Caesars Entertainment has nearly 50 casinos worldwide, including these. But no matter which casino you visit, we want you to play responsibly. And if you need help setting or keeping a limit, we hope you'll call this number. You see, we know you're coming to our casinos to have a good time, and we always want you to leave feeling like you did.
Nevada's direct link to Capitol Hill. Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce. The only statewide Nevada news show based in Washington, D.C. All the top federal matters that matter most to Nevadans. Marilee talks with our congressional delegation and other leaders about the federal news you need to know. Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce. Nevada's Eye on Capitol Hill.
I dare you. I dare you to change the world. Yeah, you. Getting that college education.
I dare you to be somebody important.
Like be a teacher or a reality TV star.
I dare you to stand up here.
To call the shots.
To be a role model.
An inspiration. An innovator.
To be a teacher.
Think you can change my life?
Make me excited about science like you.
Have a career that really means something?
Then do it.
I dare you.
Are you studying tonight? We can meet up and study together.
Just text me after.
Okay. No!
There is no text, tweet, or call that's worth a life.
One pedestrian death is one too many.
Look up. And look out for each other.
This girl is very pretty. It's inciting feelings of jealousy in me. We should pick on her.
I'm insecure about some things, so I think we should put some me stuff on here. Maybe even some lies, too.
Yeah. I just want to be accepted by you both. So I'm going to send this to my friends so they think I'm cool.
Kids bully for all kinds of reasons. None of them are good. Find ways to get involved at flipthescriptnow.org.
Want more federal news that affects Nevada, its businesses, and its residents? Then you need to subscribe to Nevada's Washington Watch newsletter, your sole source of online news direct from Washington, D.C. Visit joycecommunications.com and subscribe today.
And welcome back to Eye on Washington, our discussion of alternative treatment for opioid and other drug addiction. We've been visiting with Dr. Arthur Phan of the Washington, D.C. area McLean Center for Complementary and Alternative Medicine. Well, I want to take a quick look now on state and federal efforts to end the crisis that's resulted in the opioid and other drug addiction. During the 2017 session, the Nevada legislature passed Assembly Bill 474, the Controlled Substance Abuse Prevention Act. That legislation does not tell prescribers when or how they can prescribe, but rather establishes a standard of care, meaning that if prescribing medication is clinically indicated, the prescriber and patient both have the information needed to decide whether drug's benefits outweigh its risk. Meanwhile, in recent delegation news, in April, Senator Heller co-sponsored the Opioid Crisis Response Act. Congresswoman Jackie Rosen requested funding for naloxone, for law enforcement agencies to have on hand. And in March, Senator Catherine Cortez Masto joined colleagues pushing for more money to combat the opioid addiction in Indian country. Doctor, as a medical doctor trying to break the addiction from the use of alternative through the use of alternative medicines like acupuncture, what support are you seeing on Capitol Hill, and what would you like to see? Are you seeing them services being covered in health plans, for example?
Not too much yet. I do hope they can say yes to acupuncture. Acupuncture is a lot of help for the opium epidemic.
And you'd like to see more support from the Hill?
Yes, more support.
Okay, I hope so. And
thank you.
Great news. You said that guy, after one treatment, he went off his opioids, and then you treated him to get him stabilized. It's wonderful. As we close today, I want to be sure to give you the hotline number listed on the website of the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health if you need help. It's dpbh.nv.gov. or call 775-784-8090, and you can check their site for more information that might help you or a loved one. I hope you will reach out for help today. That does wrap up today's Eye on Washington. Be sure to join us next time for more news that affects you, and be sure to check our website for news on the federal issues that impacts you in Nevada. That is joycecommunications.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and catch up on any shows you may have missed on our YouTube page, of course, on our channel. And thanks for joining us today on Eye on Washington. I'm Marilee Joyce in Washington, D.C. I hope you have a great day today.
Thank you for watching Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce. Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce airs statewide in Nevada solely due to the generosity of our sponsors. Can your company help us continue our mission to remain Nevada's top source of federal news? If you can help us help Nevadans, please visit joycecommunications.com/WordPress/EOW sponsors and join us today. That's joycecommunications.com/WordPress/EOW sponsors.